NERDSoul.
Lay ill kid at OneYoungsta holding it down, bringing that street geek and nerd soul. What is up, my people? Today, all year, another wonderful episode of On Screen, and we talking Secret Invasion. Oh, it's so beautiful, don't you agree? It's so awesome. It's so wonderful that we are not by ourselves. We have one half, soon to be joined by the other half of the dynamic duo of the South, because they're doing big things. I give to you, Koopa Koopa.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Shout out to all of our listeners at www.blurtish.com.
All right, so I'ma start it like this: a million, a million,
Oh yeah.
a whole million, Talos, a million. My dude, you lied something big on me. A million? How can any look? If you lie, you steal. If you steal, you kill. Look, bruh, Coop, where, what? Look, I don't even look. Even Nick was like, "Are you out your reptilian mind?"
I'll tell you
A
this.
million. So I vouch for you and your people, and I think I think all the people that's here is the ones I see is like, I don't know, 50. It looked like maybe 50 or so, however many was in that little caravan in Captain Marvel. So like 50 of y'all, a million. Are you kidding me,
I
bruh?
mean,
Man, look, I don't even look. I'm so angry with you. I don't even know what to say right now. A
I,
whole million?
I
And you
mean,
said nothing to me about this for how many years?
he said a
Bruh,
lot during that monologue, and he said it right. He was like, "You know how to get in touch with me."
thank you.
And he did that whole story. You know, shout out to Double Toast who was making a little bit of fun of it, but it's like you can't count Nick Fury out. He did that to lower your guard, and then be like, "Tell me something that I don't know." And then he's like, "Oh yeah," they're like, yeah. Tell me what I don't know.
Thank you. Tell me something I don't know. Now, real quick, since we already talked about this million, I want to bring in the homie Mike Deezy, for Reezy, the other half of the dynamic duo of the South. What's up, man?
Yes, it is the other half. It's Mark Dub, part man, part thug. Use them all for what hearts are made for, and that's the love. Hey, y'all.
Yo,
It is
yeah,
a secret invasion.
bruh, how
They
was you
invaded
feeling when he said
secretly.
a million? How was you feeling right there?
Bruh. Like, there's supposed to be a couple, there's like supposed to be like 50 Skrulls. 53 Skrulls on the planet. They got a whole million. He done called everybody home.
A million? Bruh, let's keep it real. With the technology that we had in the 90s, they could have took the world over in the 90s. A million of them? Do you know what they could have done with a million scrolls if they really want? Like, bruh, this is a whole nother issue. This is a whole nother thing.
Right.
And
Like, you,
Talos,
like,
bruh,
I mean, a million you have to have that's an Avengers level threat. Like
thank you.
that's when you need, and not just the regular Avengers in the comics. Whenever you got a scroll Kree thing, or even just the scrolls, and I know it sounds like they're trying to make a super scrolls
Yeah.
a little
yeah.
bit, but yeah, they already naturally stronger than every human. No human, which is kind of silly that humans don't know about aliens, or they know, but our guard is still down to say that we got snapped or whatever. It's kind of silly, but yeah, it's like we had all this stuff with Thanos, but then we had this dude kind of stab. I ain't gonna say Taylor stabbed us in the back in purpose, because I'll give Talos 1 point.
No, he did it on purpose. He knew when he called them, he was doing something he should have told us about. And honestly, I'm not even going to blame the people in the MCU. The people in the MCU, they thought the aliens came to New York. We stopped them. It's over. Then some other aliens came. There was a snap, but then the Avengers came and fixed it, and it's over. Think about the average school teacher, the average, the car mechanic, the trash man, the bank teller, the regular people that make this world go round. The person at the grocery store, the gas station manager. They think aliens came, Avengers stopped them, we're safe. Be honest. Let's be for real.
I will
They
not
don't know.
agree with.
Nobody
I don't.
told them that there's shape-shifting aliens
I don't
on the
agree with
planet.
that because Thor is an alien and everybody loves Thor.
Stop it. Come on
And
now.
we know
With
why
white
he loves.
supremacy, they're not going to consider a pretty white
They
blonde
don't.
man
They don't
as an
look at
alien.
Thor as
Stop
an
I'm just
alien. They
saying.
not
look
even
at Thor
it's
as
not
a
even
god.
it's not even a question. Stop it. Come
I
on
know,
now.
but I'm just saying some people might
They're
like
not going to
myself.
consider that an alien.
They
I
they
mean,
don't. They
it's
consider
really
Thor a god.
They
They got
consider
people worshiping Thor.
they consider black men aliens. They don't consider come
that's
on
crazy. I mean, like, all right, I'm trying, but I'm just saying he technically called himself. We're just like space magic. It's don't worry about the god part. Wink, wink, MCU shenanigans.
now.
I'm
Oh
joking,
man. But I
but I'm
mean
just saying
the
yes.
the average person is like, hey, aliens came, but the Avengers stopped them. We're okay. You know what I'm saying? That would be the general perception of people walking around. It's like, yo, you know what I mean? Of course, they probably know the government's hiding something, but I don't think that the average person is saying, yeah, there's aliens here, and not only are there aliens here, we can't even tell them apart from
I mean,
anybody
yeah, you
because they're
wouldn't know.
shape shifting.
And not only that, they smart as hell. They like, look, I'm not gonna come here and shape shift and be everyday like shade tree mechanic. I'm gonna be the head of parliament,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna
it,
actually do the job.
bruh. You know what? Since we there, I want to talk about the council, but also going off that million thing. So the council brings Gravick in, and Gravick, he feeling himself because his
He
bomb
should.
worked and everything. So you can't tell that boy nothing in the car. He was late. He might as well had a cool, he might as well had cool miles or a black and mild in his mouth when he was riding. You couldn't tell him nothing. So he get up in there, he like, oh yeah, what's up, council? You know what I'm saying? I had to do what y'all couldn't do, basically. How in the world they done already pretty much taken over all of the major governments? But like they said, look, man, we here, be cool, just be happy we got somewhere to be. Gravick like, nah, I want war. Now here's my question to y'all about war, which goes to my conversation with Nick Fury. He says he wants war, and I believe the lady Shirley says that it's not that we're scared of war, it's that like back in the past we're too hyped to do it, right?
Yeah, that's what the
Here's
Skrulls
my
do.
here's my issue with Gravick. You saying you want war, but you don't really want war.
Nope, he wants
Because
destruction.
what you really doing is deceitful, underhanded, and full of conspiracy. You don't want to out and out war. You want to know why? Because you got your butts kicked last time. Now, let me take it a step further. In the conversation with Nick Fury and Talos, he said they were getting chased around the galaxy. All right? Or chased around the universe or galaxy. Paraphrasing.
Well, they got their butt kicked by the Kree.
Well, let me continue on. If y'all think that I'm gonna believe that y'all were just some peaceful flower daisy hippie people, and the Kree was just like, we just gonna kill y'all, and not only kill y'all, but chase y'all around the galaxy, y'all are being hunted. Nah, B. Y'all did something. It's gonna come out. Trust me, it's gonna come out. Y'all did something. People don't hunt you down for
I
nothing.
mean,
The
I can
Kree a
see
little
them. I can see
different.
them
The
blowing you up
Kree are
and taking your
different, Mike.
planet.
The Kree are a warring
they're
race.
both
That's
warring races. That's just it. They like
Thank
to
you. They're
wage war.
both
no,
They're
both
no.
warring
The
race.
Kree tried to conquer the Skrulls first. They
But the
they
Skrulls
lied the
adapted.
first one.
But the Skrulls adapted, and then
I
in
mean,
recent,
it's a thousand year war, but
yeah.
also they're warring races. But the Kree's are almost always the aggressors, man.
But
They
also
think
the
that
Skrulls,
they think themselves the police of the universe.
true.
Yeah, I mean, don't
But
get
the
me wrong.
Skrulls
The
did
Krees
take
ain't
over.
nobody.
The Skrulls take over a lot of innocent planets too, though. For their
Yeah,
greed, when they got yes, the Kree may have lit the fire to the bomb, but the Skrulls kept it going. So they're not innocent. I mean, that's just my
Yeah,
take
because
on it.
I'm looking at, I'm like, hold up, bruh. Because even when Captain Marvel came out, I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Let's see how you're flipping it. How the scrolls are like, the scrolls are the victims. I was like, but how is this in my mind? I'm watching this movie, and I'm thinking, but how is this going to play later on when they supposed to be bad guys? I was like, because as everything that I know now, don't get me wrong, I understand things get adapted from the comics, and once something gets adapted, it changes. You can kind of throw out outside of like the very core tenets of something, you can pretty much throw everything else out.
To be
But
fair though, the message of the comic and what's going on with Gravick is pretty much the same. He wants to
yeah,
take
but
over
I'm
Earth.
talking about how the
Bro.
scrolls have been kind of like perceived in this show. They've been perceived as, hey, we're victims, people were
True.
beating us up, we
True,
need
true.
help. And I'm like, something ain't right with this. And then when he started asking about, tell me something about the war I don't know, he started telling me stuff I know. I said, do you understand English? Talos,
name
you
of the
ain't
game.
stupid. You ain't stupid, Talos. Come on now. And then
Talos, you been on this planet playing this game with me too long, man. You know what I'm asking you for.
bruh.
I'm
and
mad
then,
that you ain't gave me these details already. You don't think I need to know all this?
thank you. And to Gravick talk about I want war. Do you really want war?
And
Do you
before
really
we,
want war?
Can
Do
I
you
just
really
say
want
this?
war?
You know,
Or
he-
do you want to
to-
sneak and then
to-
remove everyone's defenses?
to take it back a notch, to laugh at Talos, what you just said about Talos, you need to tell me this. And when Nick Fury was monologuing, he contradicted himself because he turned into the blondest, most prettiest, middle-aged, astute white woman to hide him.
Mhm.
And Fury is like, damn well we can't even get along with each other on this planet. How
Thank
the
you.
hell you think they gonna adapt to another species?
Bruh, look, we still can't get
That
rid
scene
of
was good. That was
we
a
still
great scene.
can't get rid of the ideals of white supremacy. And y'all up in here talking about y'all can live with us in harmony.
You want to try to sneak us on the planet? You want me to sneak 1,000,000 of y'all on the planet?
When you gotta sneak me on the train, when you literally said yourself, a black American on the train to Warsaw, blah blah blah, you have a greater chance of running into aliens. Ha 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 ha.
Bruh, look at listen to the body cam footage from the whole thing with your boy Jonathan Majors. They don't even want black people making a certain amount of money. But you think you gonna come up in here and you gonna live with us and people gonna be cool?
I just rather refrain from any Jonathan Majors talk for this podcast. Bro.
Well, okay. How about this? Keith isn't saying this. Mark isn't saying this. I'm saying this. The police said they were trying to figure out how a black man was able to live there. Huh? Sounds like Jim Crow, don't it?
Yeah, it does.
Don't say, it's 2023. It means nothing. The year means nothing.
Sure don't.
The police were trying to figure out how a black man could afford to live where they were, and they were not happy about it. So back to Talos, how in the world you think an alien race that's green think they gonna with crazy ears gonna come and old crooked up chin and everything, y'all gonna come up in here? Y'all ain't even pretty aliens. If you don't stop it, you know good and well y'all can't live in here. Man, look.
You said they not Thor pretty?
No,
They
y'all
not
Thor pretty.
they not Valkyrie pretty?
No, they not. And let's keep it real. Valkyrie is pretty because she's fetishized. If we're gonna talk about what we really talk about, come on. Valkyrie is pretty because she's fetishized, but she still better know her place. Let's keep it real. And people don't want to hear that, but it's true.
I have no
And-
clue where that
and-
came from, Mike. I can't even ride with you on that one, Mike.
I don't know where that's going, bro. I gotta be honest. I gotta agree
Okay,
with Mark.
all right. Let me break it down real quick.
When you
This
say,
is
are you
Secret
talking about
Invasion.
Tessa Thomas, or are you talking about the comic book version?
I'm talking about the version of Valkyrie that we have in the MCU. Nothing else matters. We're talking about the MCU. The MCU, Valkyrie is a light-skinned black woman. Light-skinned black women are fetishized by white men. White men set in place white supremacy, which brings us back to the top of the conversation of we can't even get rid of white supremacy. You talking about you gonna bring in Skrulls?
I mean,
Well,
I
if
guess
you don't stop it.
clear that up. But I'm just saying a little bit further. White men just fetishize black women, and I
Well,
see
yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
but you know there's a
But I
hierarchy
get
of
it. I
colorism.
get what you're
Come on
saying.
now.
I'm just
I shouldn't
saying.
have to explain that, but yes,
I
the
know what you're
hierarchy
saying.
of colorism.
I'm saying
There's a
don't think they
reason
won't.
why Zendaya is getting all the roles, and no diss to Zendaya, but let's be for real. So back to Talos.
Mike coming in hot tonight.
No, I'm just keeping it real.
I ain't saying you ain't.
Come on, Talos. Talos, stop
Talos is tripping. Talos is tripping though.
Talk about so we can live in harmony.
Yeah, I would have been like, you lucky I'm. Now me, I ain't gonna lie. I couldn't be Fury because if I have a certain type of, I hate to say this, but I'm gonna keep it real. That would make me want to shoot Talos in the face. Like
Bruh, I would.
That is.
I don't even know if I could shoot her. I would be so angry.
Cool.
It's not helpful at all. I'm sorry. We both
not at all. What you gonna shoot? What you gonna do? He is the only link you have to the million Skrulls that are on the planet. So that would not be wise. I would wanna break his fingers like I broke that skull.
Fair enough.
Agent's fingers.
I definitely want to punch him in his face, in his booty chin. Bruh, that's ridiculous.
It's one of them things where it's like, I'd be so angry, I don't even know where to start. And I don't even know where to start.
And he was too. He told me, he said, you know what? I think this is your stop. Get off here.
I like, bro, I love it. I can't even talk to you right now.
Angry black man and told him how to go and where to get off. Literally.
I can't even look at you right now. And I only got one good eye. You're making me waste my one good eye.
Well, I mean, his other eye still kind of work, I guess. I don't know. It's low, so it's there for sport.
I just was feeling Fury this whole episode because he ain't. That whole scene was powerful and well done.
Yeah, and to speak about Fury, I'm gonna give Fury his props. Fury in the hat. Oh,
you know what, Mike? Let me say this because I heard a lot of people before Secret Invasion like saying how they were like really really nonplussed by it and like they wasn't even really thinking they was gonna check it out. Nick Fury is eating. Samuel L. Jackson
doing his thing. So.
This is good.
I don't know why people would think even like you can't count out Samuel Jackson and you can't count out Nick Fury.
Of any of these.
We just finished talking about why people are nonplussed about it. Let's be honest. We just finished talking about why. Come on now. Come on now. Whenever there's something, whenever there's a black male led project, there's always these hyper specific reasons of why it should fail or why it's not interesting or something. Come on now. Come on.
And that's like the people who love, don't get me wrong, like just to give some love to Falcon and Winter Soldier. I mean, as a black man from Louisiana, I loved it, even though I had some issues with Falcon because he's a dum-dum. But people really, 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 shitted on it. Excuse my language, but they really went out their way to shit on it.
Sometimes I feel like people are. I feel like people are ridiculous. I feel like people go out of their way to castigate something and make it worse than it is.
In his All Lives Matter way, Falcon was still pointing the mirror to their face, and they did not like it.
Nah,
you know what?
That's why it's like you can't even be soft with it. It's like you might as well just say what it is because you can, as flowery as you want to put it, they still gonna be mad. So just go in and say what it is. That's why. Look.
Hey,
that's why
they ain't really mad about what you're saying. They mad about what's occurring. They're mad about who present at the party.
I mean,
oh man.
Hey, look, and I'm last thing, but I sometimes I read the comments. Sometimes I'm like Mike, our friend Mike here. Mike be knowing. I gotta give Mike his props. Mike gonna absorb information. Sometimes I don't want to know, but then you come across some stuff, and they just like Rhodey. I mean, when I say Rhodey, it's like he can't be Captain America. I can't imagine. I remember this. I can't imagine people wanting to take orders from him and follow him into battle. I'm like, man, let me get off this internet.
Thank you.
Anyway, back to the story.
I'll be skipping that, but back to Fury.
I tell Coop all the time. You say you give him credit, Mike credit. I tell you to keep yourself out of them comments so that you'll call me fussing about what you read.
Hey man, it makes for good podcast, father.
Oh no! Look, boy. I have no complaints about that. But cool, you read that and then you be radiating, and he be coming off you.
Hey bro, sometimes you gotta change it to the Hulk out here, bro.
Gotta Hulk it up. But I'll say this: not only did we get smooth styles from Fury in the Hat, but Fury
Oh, he was eating.
showed that look, I got that old man strength.
Oh
Raise
yeah.
up off me,
He grabbed a hand, cracked it.
yo.
Like,
I
hold on,
loved it.
player.
I
I
loved it.
Hey, I love how he was talking to him. He's like, yo, Colonel Rose will tell you when I'm ready. You know. And, shout out. And even though I don't necessarily care for War Machine, I like Don Cheadle. Don Cheadle was killing it
Yeah,
too, man. They
I
had
like
that
Don
great back and
Cheadle,
forth.
but let me talk about Rose real quick. Rhodey, first thing, respect. All right. Respect your elders. That man said mediocre. I'm like, I know you ain't talking about me, aka Nick Fury. I know you ain't talking about Nick. Did you just say mediocre referring to Nick? He was like, even though we share the same ancestral history, blah, 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 doesn't mean blah, 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 mediocre. I was like, hold on, whoa, 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 whoa. I know you ain't talking about mediocre. All
To be
right.
fair, though,
I
Rhodey just saw
know,
this
I
man
know.
possibly blow up. I know he don't believe it, but you know what's going on. I would be if in Rhodey's shoes, you would be mad too with Nick Fury.
No,
Considering that you're on the verge of World War III.
I wouldn't.
That's not Rhodey. That's a Skrull.
From what? Oh, you know what? You might be right. You might be right.
Probably.
You might
That's
be
why
right.
he acting like that. That's
'Cause
why he ain't supporting Nick. He's Skrull.
I'm gonna
It
keep
would make
it real.
sense.
Skrull.
It would make sense though.
If I was Rhodey on the real, I would have took some time for my security detail or slipped him. I would have met up with Nick and been like, yo, man, what's going on, bro? Like, what? Yo, you good? Because the
Well,
people out here saying this. He approached him like he his daddy. I'm like, Rhodey, you need to back up. First thing, you a second fiddle to Iron Man.
You a second fiddle.
Yeah,
but he is a colonel though.
Like you missing a whole string. You
This
don't
is
even
true.
play
This
all
is-
the notes. What you
This is
talking
true
about?
though. Sidekick. I ain't gonna
Sit
lie.
your $5
you a
self down somewhere.
sidekick.
I would have been. I wish Nick would have been like, "What up, sidekick? How can I help you?"
Hey,
Like,
go sit
bruh.
outside, kick before I kick you in your side.
Like you kidding me? This
Like,
man
What you
trying to roll
raising
up
up
like
at?
you know what? Here's the problem. You've been sitting up with them folks, and they got you thinking you better than you really is,
So much allegory in this episode, man.
bruh. So much.
So much allegory. I loved it. You know, like we agree on where it's going. Like it's
Say,
so
bro,
much
they
allegory.
got Rhodey
bro.
looking like Steven from Django.
Bruh, I'm like, Rhodey, if you don't, I'm like, did this boy just say mediocre?
Like this
Bruh,
man literally.
I promise. I was waiting for his ears or his eyes to flash or flare or something. I was
Yeah.
like, the second I saw him, I said, "Man, Rhodey a Skrull."
He probably gonna be a scroll. I think.
You know
Rhodey
what?
has been captured.
You know what? I'm gonna say it right now. I agree with you.
Because
Mark.
Rhodey
Rhodey
would
a
have.
scroll.
I don't know. I mean, I would
Wanna know
say that
why?
he's
Because
scroll.
they don't know how to be on code. They don't know about the brothers. You know what I'm saying? Because the brothers would have been a brother would have called you to the side. Like, say if I'm Rhodey, like Coop, say you Nick Fury, I'm Rhodey. I would have pulled you to the side, but like, yo, man, what's good? Because they out here saying you blew the place up. Like,
Would
yo, man,
Ro-
what you need? You need help?
I don't
You
know.
alright?
Would Rhodey really do that though?
Yeah, Rhodey is one of those
You
Falcon type
just
dudes.
don't know,
Like,
man. He's so
yeah,
in
Rhodey
down the
is one
middle
of those
road.
Falcon types.
Rhodey's a little bit cooler, which is crazier than Falcon. Falcon just be like, doop 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 doop. You gotta go. Falcon got this above his pay grade. He can't fight Bartok, but
Falcon still gotta give a stern talking to the UN.
Falcon can't get a loan by a small bank in Louisiana, and he's an Avenger from New Orleans. My God. Anyway, back to the
The stupidest
that was wild,
stuff
bro.
is that he could have just called Pepper Potts and she probably would have broke him off with some change. Like, come on, man. Like, what's going
The
on?
question is, was she though?
Oh, you know what?
Was she though?
Pepper probably would have been like, she would have left him on red, or she would have just let the phone ring. She would let the phone.
Pepper would have turned into what's her name in real life?
Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, she would have turned into Gwyneth Paltrow on him. Yeah,
Wow.
I don't think I want to help you. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna let it go.
Yeah,
Be
she would let
free.
that joint go to voicemail.
Be free, black man, and buy some goop. Anyway, I don't know.
Like, there's no. I'm like this. This man is hurting for a little bit of change when he has a direct link to Wakanda. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, what? Like, bruh, don't get me started on the dumbness of Falcon. He out there trying to save a boat. But he got like, are you kidding? Trying to fix a boat. When he got,
I mean, when you say it like that, man, I feel bad, bro. Like, look, man,
bruh,
that's our
you got,
culture a little bit, but it's like it hurt. It
oh
hurt.
God,
He just tried to save a house and a boat, and he got his sister out there selling plates. That was some. She was very
bruh,
nuanced.
y'all doing a bake sale when you know Doctor Strange. Like, come, like, are you like, stop it. Like this, all this stuff is a phone call fix. Like he's
You,
stupid, man.
you know
Like I
what?
can't. I gotta give. Falcon gotta go
Because
away,
Doctor
man.
Strange he's not so moralistic where he wouldn't pull out like 17 gold doubloons
You
worth
know what?
1.2 million
I
in
believe.
another dimension.
I believe you. I
Yeah.
believe Stephen Strange be like, he might be that white friend, be like, I don't really want to do this, but you know what?
He said, "I don't really want to do this."
But you know what? When in Rome, I am the master of
Yeah.
magic.
Look. I don't usually do this, but let's keep the party going.
Like you did save me, Rhodey. I think I can see Strange doing some immoral things because, like, all right, this can actually work. Because at least he's gonna kind of know what not to do, somewhat sometimes when he's on you know, right frame of mind. But Crazy Strange, I don't know, man. He might give you some.
No,
hurt
I mean
points.
look at what Strange did for Spider-Man. He made the whole world forget
Yeah.
he was Spider-Man.
So he could go to college.
He ain't that
This fool
morally
made everybody
great.
everybody forget so he could go to college. Doctor Strange could at least hit me up with like a like 10 stacks, no problem. You know
So
what I
I can
mean?
keep this boat.
Lord, like 10 stacks, real quick.
Oh, bro, can you just make me a new boat? Shoot, man.
Yeah, just bibbity bobbity boo that thing.
Hey, you gonna make me put these Star Trek wings on eBay and see how much I can get for them.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. Sometimes I love Falcon, but I can't get over Falcon either alone.
It's like Falcon, one of them dudes where it's like you ain't proud of him, but you like, man, I guess I'm glad he there.
I mean,
like, you know, it's like
he gonna help out.
yeah, we
He
got
gonna
a
try his
brother out
best.
there. I mean, he ain't gonna do nothing for the streets, but you know what I mean, he there. You know what I'm saying?
He
Y'all
fighting-
terrible.
he
Coop
gonna
say
fight
he ain't
war.
gonna do nothing.
Look, let's keep
He
it
ain't
real.
got no hands.
This man went over to like Syria or something to save their people. This man got folks in New Orleans right now. Can't do nothing for him, man. If you don't get out of here, like,
Bruh, I worked in banking. I know that you can you can have mitigating circumstances, as they call it. He's an Avenger from New Orleans.
man, Cloak and Dagger did
Oh
more for
my
New Orleans
God.
than he did. Like, I mean, come on, man.
Bruh, they have broke LSU players who got all type of loans. I promise you. Especially in the 80s, bruh. I'm telling you. In fact, if you
Man.
play LSU baseball when they was winning championships in the 90s on the Skip Bertman, I bet you ain't had no problem getting your loan.
Nope.
And bet you when they start winning football,
Oh man, look,
you ain't had no problem getting your loan.
I can tell you some of the football players. I won't say no names. They have a player who owns a lot, and there's a friends of the program. You go and get you if you play football, you go get you a car for like $25, man. Friends of the program deal.
I need to be a friend of the program.
Can't beat it.
Yo, get that.
I'm about to go and see if I can. I don't think I can run the ball no more. My knees hurt.
But
Now, I
back
do want
to
to.
it.
Speaking of the program, I want to talk about this program they got running in the background, which I'm pretty sure is about Super Skrulls. And also showing us that they, as a million strong, have gone far and wide. They got Groot DNA. I'm like, yo, where they've been busy, but they have been on this planet for like 30 something years. I'm like, y'all been busy. Y'all got, and then they up there got the little, medical chamber or whatever, the transfiguration chamber or something lighting up in it. Look, this is why,
Man, it looked
this
like
is
they
why
stole
you
the
cannot
chamber
let
from.
Skrulls on your planet.
No, it's hell. I mean, their goal now as a people in general is to take your planet over and to subjugate you or
And
kill
I
you.
think, and I believe that that's their plan everywhere they go.
Yeah, with Gravick people.
Which
I mean,
is
maybe
why
when
they were getting hunted and chased all around the galaxy.
I mean, once the Kree ran them out, they went and did the same thing the Kree did to other people. I mean, especially in the comic book. I know we ain't going by the comic book, but the Skrulls were just as bad, like almost, or just as bad. I mean, they took over a lot of planets. They was taking battling and all this stuff, and then they kind of just like old girl said, they kind of screwed themselves over. And when they got to Secret Invasion, the comic book, they overdid it. They got greedy. I mean, I don't know if some of the planets were dying or something, and they just had to get off of it.
Well,
So
also they was feeling themselves. They was feeling themselves. They had in the comics what they had already kidnapped what pretty much like half of the Illuminati basically. At least half of them. Like so, they was feeling themselves. You couldn't tell them nothing.
So just and in the comic book, I remember this. This was not the Skrulls. This was a faction of Skrulls. This was because they were playing in the politics of the time too. These were some very hard right wing Skrulls who were like on some very let's conquer for the reptiles.
It was like a religious experience for them.
Yeah, they
were their queen.
They were zealots.
Yeah, very much zealots.
That I remember even there was being like where the Skrull gods fought off against the pantheon of gods, of Earth gods.
Okay. All right.
I mean, Mike was like, okay, yeah, you're doing too much now. We're going too far.
Well, no, them Skrulls, they doing too much. They could have came and been like, yo, man, thank you. We got our butts kicked. We just want to live here and mind our business. But no, everywhere they go, they want to take over because their whole culture is built on deceit. Now, Nick should have known this from the outset, but they presented themselves as victims. And in that particular moment, they kind of were, but I still don't think we know the full story about that situation.
I mean, they got their butts ran off to Earth, and they was like had a moment of come to Jesus moment, and then now they switching back to what they were doing.
Because
I think Gravick, I really don't think he had bad intentions. I think it was a situation. Fury wasn't there. He didn't know how to handle it. All he knew was that his people needed somewhere, and he was like, you know what? Fury ain't here to tell me no. I don't know what to do.
And
This will help my people in the immediate. We'll figure the rest out along the way.
Let's keep it a buck. The Gravick was already gone before them 5 years. That was just another match.
Yeah, that was like the last straw, probably.
Because he didn't come through on his promise. And honestly, I know that I'm not taking the Skrull side, but I can see why a terrorist like Gravick happened. Like,
I'm sorry, y'all. I said Gravick and I meant Talos. Talos. But yeah, Gravick.
Gravick is a child of war. He survived war early on, and he's a smart, strong, warrior. And he's lost both his parents. I mean, in a way, he's like I'm about to go anime-ish real quick. He's like Sasuke. I don't know if any of y'all ever finished Naruto. He's like Sasuke. He just wants to see the world burn. He lost his family. The person that was the closest to him let him down, and now he's doing all type of deceitful stuff, terrorism, till he gets either the world blown up or he's going with it. He don't care. He is in pain, he's in suffering, but he might be a little bit smarter and say, you know what, maybe I will become my people's savior, and this is how I'm gonna do it. I mean, they already in the world's council. They already top-notch positions.
Yeah,
honestly.
And all right, so peep this. As the council, they could have been like, yo, there's this alien race coming. We want to talk to them and see. And they could have put it down that way. But Gravick like, nah, I want war. And that's why he making these super Skrulls. But here's where I have a question for the show. If he succeeds with these super Skrulls, is this particular show going to spill out into another show and or movie? Because if he succeeds with the super Skrulls, and there's 1 million Skrulls at least on the planet right now, there's no way. Come on, man. Let's say 1 million anything. All right, let's say there's 1 million, I don't know, butterflies in your neighborhood. How are you going to kill all of them?
I'm going to go ahead and answer this. I'm gonna simply give you the easy answer of no. And you know why? Because
Money.
Mike, you kind of do this. I mean, Mike, you fall for this each time. That's why you fall for it. I know you have high hopes, but they did say this is only 6 episodes. The
Hmm.
only the only future movie that any of this will have repercussions if they wanted to go traditional should be Fantastic Four. However, everything's getting pushed back.
Oh, what is the name of these Avengers movies coming out in like 4 years?
Kang Dynasty.
Kang Dynasty and Kang Resurgence or something. I don't know. Something
I'm
good.
just gonna say it's gonna be. I think after this, I
Or
think
Kang
Skrulls might
Secret
pop
War or
up
something.
a smidge, but I think this is gonna be it for a while.
You think this is it? That it's nothing that's gonna
Maybe
spill
the
out?
Marvels. Maybe in the Marvels. Maybe.
Maybe a brief cameo, but I don't really think they're gonna focus on the Skrulls anymore for a hot minute.
All right.
Because
Now
Kang
this.
was supposed to be the one, unless you just see them up as bad guys, whatever, and some intergalactic stuff. But
Nah,
I don't think
yeah, I think they need to keep with Kang. If anything, if you gonna recast this, I don't know, man.
because if
Shoot,
you really think about it, they had. I mean, I guess if you don't count the Chitauri, that's if you give them a point, that's half a point for the Skrulls there. Yeah, Miss Marvel. Then what else they popped up in, and then you have this. This is kind of their swan song to release. So you know, how often, how much more would they? I mean, you could do more with the scrolls, but do you
Yeah, because
honestly think Marvel right now is about to make more sense and interconnect this stuff? Maybe so, but not as much as you think. I just don't believe that
yeah,
they
you
will.
right.
I
Even
say,
though
I say, bring your
logically, someone
expectations
would
down.
ask, be like, all right, we got 4 episodes of this show left, right?
This is gonna wrap up
So do
neatly.
you expect me to believe that they're gonna get rid of at least a million scrolls? Because I'm assuming that there's been a scroll baby sooner or later in 30 years. So at least a million scrolls. Y'all gonna wrap them all
You
up
know
with a bow
what
in 4 episodes?
what they gonna do is I don't know. I'm making fun about V. I don't remember how they killed or how they won in V. Shout out to the '80s if you remember that old series about green reptilian men on Earth. Even though they
Shouts
had
to
took
V,
over.
yo. V was
Shouts to
dope.
V. V was creepy as hell. They were eating rats. But I think there's gonna be some type of kill switch as they generally are, and somehow it's gonna
Oh,
make them leave, or maybe they actually find a planet, or maybe some scrolls turn on each other and be like, "Hey man, Gravick, this ain't cool, homie.
that actually has
Stop."
happened in the book before. I think they had something where the scrolls were locked in their scroll forms and they couldn't shapeshift anymore, and so they couldn't fool anybody, and they had to leave.
I mean, that happened. Yeah, it happened a few times. Mister Fantastic did it.
yeah. I remember when
Somehow
Mr. Fantastic did it.
somebody else did it, or he can visualize them. I think it was X-Ray Man in Secret, or some scrub D Man or something who had that X-ray vision, and he could just like take away their secret.
Was
So
he the big eyeball guy, or
yeah, yeah, I think so.
yeah?
And he was a scroll hunter, and that was the last you probably seen of him because they don't know what to do
Oh
with that.
boy.
It's
All right, I
unusual.
want to give before we switch up to one of my favorite scenes. I want to give a shout out to Shirley real quick because even Gravick had to give Shirley her props and say, if I had 100 of you, we could take over the galaxy. And see, that's what he really wants, conquest. But Shirley stood up. It's clear that everyone is on Gravik's side. They just made this man the general. And she stood 10 toes down and said, I don't think we should go to war. I don't support this. I don't believe in none of this. And I'm not going to do it. That is called fortitude. That is called, how should you say, boss level thinking on her part, because she like, I don't want no parts of this. You know what I'm saying?
I thought they were gonna kill her.
Shout out to Gravick for not killing her yet.
He said, yeah.
I thought they were gonna kill her, and I was like,
I thought they
dang,
was gonna
girl.
blow up the car.
Yeah,
Like,
I did think she was dead after that. I'm gonna be honest.
if this was a mafia movie, oh, she'd been
Look,
dead
when
as soon as
she
walked
was
in the
leaving,
corner.
and he said no one will harm you, I said, oh, somebody about to harm her.
Yep.
I think Gravick is a little cocky, like, and also I think he don't hate his people unless you give up information.
Yeah,
I don't
he
think
he
I don't
killed
think
old
he
boy.
I don't think he feel like she alone can do it, because if what's she gonna do? Reveal that she's a scroll and they
Yeah,
kill
I
her
don't think he
immediately?
really scared of her like that.
Like it's a chess game. He's like, you better know
He
your
figures
rules.
he done already did what he needs to do, where whatever she tries to do will be ineffective. So he ain't, like Mike say,
Yeah,
you know, he ain't scared of her. He like,
Yeah,
go do your worst.
and also
I've already prepared for this.
I think he was like, you know what, that little meeting was a little foregone conclusion, a formality. He was enjoying it. He was like, I ain't gonna kill you right now. Enjoy my ambiance as I ascend to the general.
my ambiance. Um, is it? I wanna ask y'all how y'all was feeling about the torture scene.
Loved it.
What was it? Was it Sonya? Was it Sonya that did that?
I
Was
don't
she?
like her, but I like the act. I like how the actor is playing her. Now
Yeah.
that's an evil white woman, I tell you, boy.
Yo, she came in. She was like, all right,
Say,
y'all,
bro, she
everybody
looked
out.
like she was so casual. She was like, "Oh, I know I'm about to get this information, cause you about to hurt, buddy." Look, he was full of bravado. You'll never get anything out of me. She's like, oh, you
Oh
don't
yeah, I
even know what
will.
I'm about to do to you.
She
She's like,
stuck it
no,
in
I
the
got
butt.
this.
She's like,
Yep.
I'm gonna stick it in your butt.
She
Your
He
was
butt.
like,
said,
yep.
stick it in my arm, and she stuck it in his butt. I was like, wow.
She has no disregard for any life.
Yo,
Cut your finger off.
I love how she was like, where's the back way out of this? Because I figured she was like, look, they gonna come and kill all us anyway, unless there's a way out. Like she
And it was
knows her
so
stuff.
funny. He said, why do you ask that? She's like, call it a hunch.
And also to add to that scene, first of all, shout out to a character actually acting that on screen instead of just have my magic. Like, let me plan I gotta plan this exit. And then she was like, make yourself scarce, go out in the front. So if y'all get chopped up, I can hear it and I can get out of here.
Yep.
Like, oh sound like your party's here. I gotta go, buddy. Like, God damn.
Oh man, she said
That
something
She just
like,
left
"Son,
him there with the bad stuff cooking him.
and can I
yo
be
man,
honest? That was one of the best. For this was a Disney Plus show. If they would have had the blood, that thing would have shot up to R-rated. Gravick popped that boy. Like, that was some
yo,
serious.
Gravick was getting it in for a second.
Like, it would, if that was a HBO show, they would have been very much blood splatter everywhere. And that
I
whole
was like,
scene,
look at Gravick, and Gravick is throwing hands.
Gravick is not playing. He shot
Yeah,
him on the beat with the cut. So as soon as he hit it, it just. I was like, oh, they
bruh.
serious. I like, okay, this is what I'm
Homie got
liking.
lifted onto that meat hook. I was like, yo. I was like,
Yeah,
I was
I was
like, I
like,
see
okay,
y'all.
that's a
I
little
see
cruel.
y'all.
That's a little cruel. That looked like it hurt bad.
I ain't worried about them. Those are some Russian
Yeah,
gangsters.
they're just goons.
They dare to be
Goon number one, goon number two.
dare to be put on the meat hook. I mean, and also shout out to the head goon. He was so pissed off. He was like, looked at him and then slapped him aside the head. Like, man, you know what? Got me looking bad out in these streets, man. I'm a goon out here, and I couldn't get this information out of you.
Yo,
Whoever's right,
she
this
came in
good
with the
touches.
scissors. She cut the finger off. She was like, "Cool, now that's covered."
And yeah, now that we know what it is.
Oh man, like Shorty was not like, yo. Shouts to Sonya, man. She was not playing no games,
I
like
mean,
at
my
all.
question is this: do y'all think Sonya get on the side of? Do you think her and Fury will collide together or work together? Or you think it's gonna be just factions against factions? Because I
Hmm.
mean, she has all purposes probably not to want to work with Fury unless I guess the end of the planet happens.
I mean, they got a similar goal, but they don't like each other. But they'll probably end up dovetailing to a certain degree, because neither of them want Skrulls taking over their planet. So, it's going. They might end up doing a little something, maybe like episode 4 or something, where they kind of are forced together. But I don't know, man. Nick, I would love to see a scene where Nick reaches out or gives a call to either Wong or Doctor Strange and being like, yo, look, Father Time, it'd be hitting a brother. Can you give me a Senzu bean?
I
And they'd
know
be
you
like, oh
joke.
yeah, man, I got you.
I don't think you're gonna get any
I don't
No,
think
I'm
Nick
just saying it would
operate
make
with magic
sense
like
if you
that.
know these things.
To be
Just like
honest,
just like when I was talking about Thor: Love and Thunder, I'm like, bruh, cancer
to be
in the
honest, bro,
MCU?
I'm
That's
gonna
not an
keep it.
issue.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't want him to get no help from none of these none of these
Oh yeah,
dummies. I
yeah,
want
it's
Nick
true.
Fury to. This is Nick Fury's story. He is out here to show you that even when he's out, he's in, baby. He's in.
Yo, I love that part when
You
he
can't
looked
put
him
him
in his
out.
face. He said, "Even when I'm out, I'm in."
So this is Nick
Yo,
Fury's, his magnum opus.
yo,
I'll let
I
him
love.
rock. Let him cook.
Yo, man, Fury is doing his thing. Shouts to Sam Jack, like he is that dude. Like, man, Rhodey out here looking. Well, see, Rhodey is. I he's now
We
that
don't.
Mark said it. Here's my theory on. Here's my theory to further go on to Mark's point. I don't think there was some top secret meeting that he was read in on. I think they kidnapped Rhodey a long time ago,
Yo,
replaced him, and he's pretending like, oh yeah, there was this meeting I went to. It's like, no, y'all probably kidnapped Rhodey, replaced his whole team, and y'all,
they probably got him.
because think about it, he's a hero that don't have no power, so we don't have to copy no powers with him.
And
Just get in the
eventually,
suit.
it depends on how far they go with this. I mean, they ain't got any superheroes that's gonna pop up, but they can copy powers somewhat. But yeah, you can just get in this. They can make an Iron Man suit or a titanium
Well,
suit.
Skrulls can't copy powers right now.
Yeah.
That's what Gravick
Yeah,
is
they
working
working on
on.
And see, which leads me to my previous question, like how long is this going to play out? Because if they succeed in any of these super scroll type things, like we gonna need some assistance.
Yeah, that's terrifying. I am hoping that they do something where it's like a scroll lock where they can't access the super scroll powers, that they all burn out or something with the powers, because
But let's keep it real. There's only 2 or 3 people that can possibly make a pop up that would make. I hate to say make sense, but that you don't need powers, and they kind of fit in its mode. Falcon, Winter Soldier, maybe somebody from Wakanda, and I don't think we're gonna get somebody
Falcon,
from
Winter
Wakanda.
Soldier, and Hawkeye.
I don't think you get Hawkeye is done.
Well, no, I'm just saying he knows. I'm talking about people that Nick knows, kind of on the spy, kind of
I'm
CIA
talking about
type side.
actors that can be available to play their roles who got contracts, and I'm just saying, pull from that pool. That's who you might see in any assistance, and that's probably Falcon because he's still on the payroll. Winter Soldier, and you don't even have Steve Rogers anymore. You got Wong, but I don't think they're gonna cross this over with any supernatural. So let's take them out the equation. And you ain't getting Benedict Cumberbatch to make no doggone cameo in TV. You just not. He a movie star at this point. I mean, he might if it's his show, but I don't see that. So unless Miss Marvel pop up, and I don't think you go get her either because she's gonna be in Marvels. I mean, go down the line of who's kind of available, and it ain't gonna be Spider-Man. So who else is there left in the Avengers?
Well, man, I'm just trying to think of like when they were filming this and who might have been able to be involved.
But them contracts was already gone by the time it was filming this. Like
Dang.
everybody was out, including Robert Downey Jr. You already killed, or they already planning on how they already knew how this was gonna go. So you can't get Black Widow. She's already dead. Maybe you get the new Black Widow. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
we
I
might
don't think
see
Nick trusts
Valentina
nobody
or
like
whoever. Yeah, he don't. I know he
shouldn't
don't trust her.
nobody.
and he does not want to bring anybody in because he don't want superpowered terrorists.
And he already
Yeah.
said, yeah. So that's very smart writing to say, don't expect no superheroes.
And I'll before we go in and close, I'll go in and give a shout out to the mama Elizabeth mourning her child. You know what I'm saying? Shorty came through, was like, yo, look, y'all say y'all owe me a great debt, but y'all can't even tell me where the girl was when she died. Like,
Right. I guess my debt ain't that great. I guess the debt that you owe me ain't that great. 'Cause you can't even
Everybody.
tell me when my daughter died.
Eating, man. Everybody's eating. God, I missed this so much.
Man,
Dang.
Sam Jackson, like for real, man. Like the man never won an Academy Award.
Give him
He
that
is
lifetime.
freaking. He is brilliant.
Yeah, he
Time
killing it in the
And you
show.
look at the actors who have won them. Can they do anything with this man for real?
I mean, he's gonna get a
Like,
lifetime award eventually.
Yeah, he'll get a lifetime achievement
yeah,
sooner or
yeah, but
later.
you know what? I think that's the biggest cop out. I think it's the biggest punk. Like
Yeah, it
I
is.
appreciate
It
that
is.
giving
It
um
is.
I appreciate that giving her flowers, but no, you should have given her flowers last year when she earned the dang Academy Award.
Like, man, they gave it to what's her name?
Jamie Lee Curtis,
I
someone else
mean,
who they hadn't given one in a long time. But man, you give it to her for what she earned.
I mean, that movie already won 3. They could have gave her the lifetime and reversed it. But at the same time, though,
They
your
giving
race-
her the lifetime because they knew they screwed the pooch, and
But
people
your
were so
race-
upset with it how they did it.
And I know there's somebody on the internet hating on us, the blacks. You know how they write on.
Of
the
course.
comments.
I
Like,
mean, that's how it
they
is.
they're crying about getting that whatever. Like, nah, man, she should have won. First of all, she gave one of the better performances as Tina Turner when Tina Turner was live. Now you want to give her an award? She should have won it back then in the 90s. That
It's the same like with Denzel. You know, all the times he was nominated, gave it to him when he is the worst person, the worst character
and that's
he's
okay.
ever played on film.
He still
Yeah.
he still deserved it. But you can't be a black man and a hero and win an Oscar.
Yeah.
You gotta be.
You ain't gonna get no Oscar for Glory, and you sure enough ain't gonna get one for Malcolm. Like, you can forget that.
And
What?
we all know that wasn't even just him. That was Spike. They
Did he get
hate
one for
Spike
I thought he
too.
got one for Glory as a supporting actor.
Nope.
I don't think so. I don't think he got
so.
a supporting for Glory.
Maybe he did.
I think he got one a long time. What film was it? Was it
Yeah, I
Hard?
don't think he
He,
ever got that supporting for Glory though. Nah.
Because that was the only one he was up for Glory. Malcolm X. We know he didn't want for Malcolm X, and then
Could have got something for Philadelphia, but you know they won't having that.
that was only gonna be because of Tom Hanks. But
And then y'all thought I forgot about Philadelphia. I ain't forgot.
the man should have probably won one for Red October or whatever. So many things. So many.
Yeah. So I'll throw it to Mark Dub, of course, part man, part thug. If you could hit me with your final thoughts on this episode of the goodness of Secret Invasion, and tell people where they can find you.
well, you know what? We have to do our honorarium for Maria Hill. Rest in peace, Maria Hill. We'll flash her across the screen real slow. I
Put some doves out.
actually, as Coop mentioned to me, and I love it. This was the blackest episode. It went out with Otis Redding singing. You know what I'm saying? It had Rhodey, had Sam Jackson pretty much say, "Help a brother out," and then Rhodey
Help a brother out.
acted like a conservative brother who
You got
been
You had all representations of brothers. You had that.
like he was like, "Look,
You
I
an
had to
example.
work real hard to get where I'm at, and I'm not about to let your black self mess it up for me, Sam." I mean, Nick.
Nick.
Sam
So
Fury.
it was a very black episode. Yo, say we have a writer strike, y'all. This is what the writers were able to do. It ain't gonna be like this if you don't pay these writers, man. Pay the writers.
Thank
Yeah,
God they
it's
got
not
it
like
in before
it's
the
not like
writers.
we ain't got the money to flow around. Going to spread that cash around.
It ain't
Stop
gonna
keeping
be
that money
good.
all at the top.
Stop trying to be so selfish, you greedy
Yeah.
mothers.
Stop being
Zasloff.
stingy.
Zasloff want to have a word with you, Mark.
Yo, man, I'm gonna tell
Hey,
Zaz
no,
stop being
I tell
greedy,
you
give
what.
to the needy.
I am the one person Zaz don't want to have any words with, because I ain't gonna have words with him long. It's gonna end bad for him.
That man cutting Turner. It's like certain people. They're like, he's even cutting Turner classic movies. Oh,
But sometimes I feel like he's
they clutching
targeting
their
me.
pearls. They clutching their pearls now. He getting
Sometimes
rid
I
of
feel
old
like he's
19
targeting me, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
He's targeting everybody. Of course he targeted, what we like first, but
Yeah.
The only thing I can guess is maybe he's supposed to torpedo WB so it can be sold. I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
He's
The
just
dude is
literally cutting costs to make the bottom. He is doing it purely by austerity, as Marcus said, and it's about purely the numbers. But
yeah,
at the
that
same
dude.
time, once you get rid of
I
the
mean,
workforce and the talent,
he only had Bobby Jindal, his example here, and how well that worked for the state of Louisiana. Just save, save,
Oh
save.
boy, I
but
forgot
but
about him.
but
Oh
yet he burned the
Lord,
whole surplus somehow. You so-called cut, but then the surplus went down. Surplus
Surplus went
vanished.
away. Rainy day
Uh,
fund went away.
want to know how? It's called slush fund. Yo, whenever
honestly,
whenever government money disappear, but you don't never see them senators and stuff hurting. I'll be like, yeah, slush
I can
fund.
tell you where it went. It went to the Saints. It went to Exxon. It went to foolishness. It went to
He said
LSU.
foolishness.
It went to the DC battle. Um,
Y'all, I'm sorry.
Oh, not the DC
I'm
Madam though.
sorry, y'all. As we're talking, I'm scrolling down. I'm scrolling down Facebook, and I see an article by Variety that says Anthony Mackie wrote Marvel letters asking to play Black Panther. Join the MCU not knowing it was for the Falcon role instead. I'm like, really?
Bruh,
I
look.
mean, they put him in the right place.
Bruh,
They put him right where he belonged.
Boy, if you don't go sit down, Sam Wilson, you
Like
old Sam Wilson looking
like
at.
Mackie,
oh,
Mackie, you playing.
Anthony. Oh,
They wrote you
Anthony.
correct.
Oh
They
Lord.
let you be a brother from New Orleans. You got
Oh,
that. Even
Anthony.
though you ain't respected us right, bro. But come on.
Oh boy.
You
If
really
you
They
don't
put
get
you right where you supposed to be, buddy.
if you don't get your Tupac acting, like, bruh, if
that would have been
He
such
he wasn't even a good Tupac.
that would
He
have been
looked like
such
he was
a disrespect to the black to what we
tube
got.
sock shaker.
oh
It would have
Lord,
been we would have seen memes of Eminem beating up the Black Panther.
man, like this.
We'd have seen memes of Eminem
Yeah,
saying
wrote a
he
letter.
had two he had two parents and a really good marriage.
This
His
man
real
wrote a
name is
letter.
Clarence. He ain't T'Challa. He's to Clarence.
But to be fair to Mackie, shout out to Mackie for what he's doing in New Orleans East. I gotta give the brother some credit.
Ah,
He is putting some money back into that area. You know, he's doing stuff with his money.
okay,
So
okay.
you're looking.
I'll ease up
I,
on Anthony.
no, you ain't gotta ease up on him. I'm just saying, I'm giving him props. You ain't gotta ease up on him. He's whack at times, but he has done some. He is going to do some good.
He
But
he has done good in the black community.
not Falcon though.
Nah, not Falcon, man.
Falcon got money problems. How you a superhero with?
How you a superhero? You got no cheese. I'm not saying you got to tell people they got to pay you to save them, but I mean, bro, you ain't got no
Bruh,
endorsements, no nothing. Like,
you ain't
come
got
on,
no
man.
GI Bill. You ain't got no nothing. What is
Man,
you
you
doing,
ain't like
sir?
can't nobody give you a loan for being in the service or something. Like, come on.
Now you see why the heroes in the boys are all about getting endorsements. Besides being crazy murderers, they're like,
Well,
you got to
yeah,
pay
true.
me. You got to pay me, partner.
Yeah, like you can't, man.
That's ridiculous.
Anyway, back to Mark Dub. Mark Dub, where can they find you?
I am Mark Dub on IG, Mark Dub 44 on Twitter,
Mm-hmm.
and Mark Dub in real life in these streets, doing comedy and everything.
Believe that.
Come holler at your boy.
All right, Keith. Final thoughts. Where can they find you?
Final thoughts, man. Again, this was the blackest and most wonderful episode. I'm feeling under the weather. I feel my melanin was glowing watching Samuel Jackson kill it and getting in Rhodey's face, getting in everybody's face, getting in Talos' face. And also, shout out to Samuel Jackson showing black with a question mark love with his wife. Because notice that because he's such a spy, he does not wear his wedding ring until he gets home by his wife.
That's right.
He married a Skrull, and she was in her Skrull form, and she knew her man was coming. She put on the appropriate face.
Now let me. I want to
Face.
ask you real quick. Does he know she's a Skrull or not? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
assuming he does, but
Absolutely knows. Absolutely knows.
all right, because I was like, I'm assuming he knows, but just in case she don't, I mean, he don't know. But
That-
then, if he does know, that does correlate with the line where he was like, "I've seen
I know.
prettier Skrulls than you." So You know what I'm saying?
I think she just did it, and also they had to cut the makeup, cut the
Oh
makeup, but
yeah, guy.
just like go put your face on. I think he knows because she was in that flashback. That was her, I believe, because you could tell that was a black woman. So I think when they was
Ah,
something like take your face, and they ain't show her taking a face, and and quick aside, shout out to all the Skrulls, is recognizing white supremacy. They took all white faces.
yep. You ain't see no Asian faces. You ain't see no
They even
Mexican faces. You ain't see no Colombian, no Ghana faces, no Jamaican
feels
faces.
like
You ain't see no Hawaiian faces. All you saw was
British white man.
Wahite.
British white man, British white man, British white man.
They
It's
were
like
like, even aliens know. They come to this planet. They're like, I'd like to be white.
maybe one guy fancy and became Italian because they do have an Italian prime. Well, I don't know if the Italian was there, but they're like, you know what? I want to be Italian. I want to be French. I don't want to be too spicy. I want to be kind of spicy, but I don't want to be too. I want to go where I can represent where the party at for all the other folks.
Oh man, it's like
But
I'd
it's
like to
just
be white.
it was just if this is the almost halfway mark, this is wonderful. I don't think we're going to get any big cameos. My expectations are low. I'm just here for Samuel Jackson, and I'm going along for the ride. And I set myself up for this to connect with any goddamn thing. I don't care.
Mm.
I am not going to do it
Even
this
though it
phase.
should, because you're
It
making
won't.
this into the world, and
It won't. But you keep riding with that.
it's gonna be like that hand in the ocean, boy.
I am not gonna fall for it. The banana in the tailpipe, no more. It's gonna be. I'm gonna look at this as a solo thing until they connect it, and until they don't, I don't think it's. I think it's gonna be years from now. I think you better enjoy the Skrulls now because they're not gonna worry about them. Because just look at the lineup and see where they fit. I guess they could fit in Loki, but they not because they gotta deal with Kang. So we moving on to Kang, and
they're
depending
gonna
on what
wrap this
happens.
up. They're gonna wrap this up in a bow in 4 episodes. A whole million people, but we gonna go ahead. All right.
I just asked for.
MCU, it's on you, dog.
I ain't the writer. I just got a feeling when you got Sam Jackson doing a tour de force, and they also the shows they can make it fit, but I don't think they're going to care about it no more. So maybe they prove me wrong. They prove me wrong. I do agree with Mark. I do think Rhodey is a Skrull, and if he ain't a Skrull, that boy disrespectful. He ain't respected the people who got him there, and I want to see Samuel Jackson put hands on Rhodey, like slap him on the chin.
He need to smack him with the open hand, man. Like, bruh. When he said mediocre,
Rhodey
I was like,
getting beside himself. I was like, Rhodey.
Rhodey, one of them types that get around them
Dog,
folks,
your
and them
name
folks
is
gas him
Rhodey.
up.
Rhodey. But to be honest though, I did like how he was talk. I did like how he talked to the prime minister. Like, here, y'all ain't important enough to be getting the president of our thing, whatever.
Yeah,
So I'm
like,
here for you. He's like, look, and y'all ain't blah blah blah. Y'all ain't that important out here. We run this to some degree. Italy, like it's like
I don't care if it's Italy, if it's France.
Czechoslovakia.
I think Pakistan was up there. He was like, we don't care about y'all.
Like, look,
whoever y'all is, y'all. What one thing you do need to know, you need to not be playing with Rhodey.
I mean,
I'm a gangster out here.
I mean, he was too quick to talk about he want to carpet bomb people, but
Yeah,
Sam
I'm like,
Jackson was like, did you carpet? You should if they check eyeball you again, carpet bomb again. So these are men not to play with.
yeah.
like dog, that joke is a little bit of poor taste. Make jokes about carpet bombing being terrorist work out here.
Especially when they just had a bombing in Moscow.
I mean, just in the real world, it's that kind of poor taste.
Oh well, I mean, I get it, yeah, but I mean, they're never going to know. When they're writing this stuff, they don't know.
True.
I mean, because this stuff was probably written, who knows, like 5 years ago or something like that. So, they also say that they're always writing and rewriting in Marvel, so who knows?
So
I mean, they were when they had writers. Ain't nobody doing nothing now.
I'm gonna make one more prediction. I think Talos is going to die. I think.
Oh yeah, he did.
Daughter is going to shoot. I think she's gonna come around and shoot Gravick, or Gravick is gonna kill one of them. It's gonna be either or. One of them two
Gravick
is gonna
kill Talos, and she gonna put the hammer on him.
Cause I don't know how she don't believe. Like your daddy done told you who's the killer of your mama. God damn. I mean, You think your daddy want to be isolated from his people like this, fool?
Yeah, and well, also Gravick is on to you. He ain't stupid.
He's going to.
Gravick is not a dumb man, or I guess a dumb scroll. He's not dumb.
He giving
But
her that
He
look,
walking up on you like, what you doing?
like, what's up, player?
I think what he's doing is trying to see how far she's going to take it.
Yeah, like
Because
the
I mean, he could easily have her killed right now.
I mean, he said the daughter. I said, what kind of coward sends his daughter to do this? He already don't. He don't respect your daddy.
Yeah,
at
he
all.
don't respect your dad.
So-
And honestly, he don't respect you. But I think he's trying to keep. I think it's one of those keep my enemies close, or
'Cause-
keep my enemies closer. Because I'm pretty sure he knows that you're a double agent. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Like
Quadruple
he
agent,
he
whatever.
also knows he can use her
And
against
what did Gravick
her
say
father if he needs
when
to.
he was in that car? He said, "You don't punish a man by giving him what he wants. You just
Yeah,
don't."
you.
So
you
who you
heard
think
him.
he's talking about Fury? But he's talking about your daddy too.
Yep.
He's like, "I'm gonna punish both of them."
But yeah, I think Talos dies probably trying to save, Gia or Gaia. I can't remember. Gaia, whatever girl name is.
Gaia.
Gaia, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like trying to save her because, of course, I don't think Gravick gonna let this go on but so long.
Yeah, I mean, by episode 4, one of them is dying.
Yeah, he gonna be like, all right, your usefulness is over. You know what I'm saying? You done. But
I mean, you know,
anyway, my bad. Go ahead. Where can they find you?
you can find me at www.blerd-ish.com. Sale to the end of June. Of course, sale comes back each month. You can find me at blerd.ish on IG. I'm also on Twitch. I'm also on Twitter. Starting to tweet a smidge more, but don't worry about it if you don't go to Twitter. Find me other places, Facebook, and Keith Cooper on Facebook as well.
All right, that's what I'm talking about. And my final thoughts is that I know the brother Jason Reeves says that this show is mid. I know he didn't like the first episode. I know, look, Jason, we cool. But I would say this, Jason. I think the second episode is good enough to turn even you around. Hopefully, I know you're a tough customer.
Oh, I'm about to say, hold up, man. I don't know, man. That's my boy. That's my guy. But he also
doubles
his
down
head
in the
hard as
trenches.
cast iron.
I don't think Jason's made of stone though. He's not. I don't think he's made of stone.
But you need a jackhammer to chip at it though.
But nah, this episode comes through in so many ways. The train scene with the tension between Talos and Nick. You got Nick and Rhodey. You got the torture scene. You got the scene with the council. Like, bruh, they came through in this episode. Like, this episode alone was hot fire. Like, I gotta give it to them. They came through. So, of course, guys, join us anytime, every time, all the time. Those links are down below. Holla at these young, wonderful brothers. And until the next time, NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. And until the next enhanced interrogation, this is from us telling you, peace